Another way of presenting the data when it's not into an equation form, which is very common, is that if it's given to you as a list of points or a table, we can also do this. So like for instance here, we can do f plus g at 0. And so this is equal to, as a formula, f of 0 plus g of 0. So the next thing is to figure out what f of 0 is and what g of 0 is. And to do that, again, we go to 0 for both of these functions. So the top row here is the input values of x. And the input values of x here is both 0 for each function. Then, for each function, I go to the outputs 0 and 2. So at 0 for f, we get the output of 0, and for 0 for g, we get the output of 2. So this is equal to 0 plus 2, where this 0 is the output there, and this 2 is the output there. So f plus g of 0 is equal to the value 2. Great. We can do f minus g at 1. So this is subtracting the two functions. So this is f of 1 minus g of 1. Well, that's equal to, well, going to f of 1 here, f of 1 is negative 1, and g of 1 is a positive 1, but we're subtracting. So that's equal to minus 2. So that corresponds to these points here. Let's try this. What about f plus g at 2? Well, this splits up of f of 2 plus g of 2. All right, great. We can just keep going with that. All right, we have a 2 here. F of 2 is equal to 1. And oh no, we don't have a 2 here. So we don't know what it goes to. There's no 2 in that list. So this is plus a giant question mark there. And so the question is, what could that be? And the answer is, we don't know. We don't know this value. We have no way of saying it's not in the list of points. It's not in the data of the function. I mean, if this was representing something real world or you knew the equation, you can find it. But here, we just do not know enough information. So f plus g at 2 is undefined, because we do not have g of 2 as defined. It is also undefined. So the key thing to watch out here is when you're adding and subtracting values from a table or even a function that's not a polynomial, is that it can happen that something is in the domain of one of the two functions and is not in the domain of the other function. So when you do these operations, your values must be in the domain of both functions. So it must be in the domain of both functions.